Hello and welcome to another episode of the Not For Nothing podcast. We're back today with a few topics relating to our very first formative relationships. So I wanted to hear a little bit about your first relationship and the demise of that relationship. If you want, I can start, or you can kick things off.
I think you should take this one away.
Okay. So I think my first relationship, I was like 14.
Mm-hmm.
Or 14 or 15. I think I was a sophomore in high school. I guess 15. And well, actually, let me go back.
You're like, so my first day of preschool.
Well, no, my first relationship was with my current partner.
Oh my God, that's true.
I don't want to discount him from the equation because he was an important piece of my life and continues to be. But so, all right, I'll start there. 6th grade. So I'm like 11.
Wow.
I've become official with this cute kid in another class, but I went to a specialized middle school. So there were 3 categories. There was like a science academy, an art academy, and a social studies / global academy.
What were you in?
What do you think I was in?
What are the 3 categories again?
Science, art, social studies.
Art.
No, I wanted
social studies.
No, science. I was in science. I was a woman in STEM.
We love women in STEM. We would have been in there together.
My mom forced me into the academy. I was like, I want to be in art, and she's like, no, that's for hoes. And
no, but let's be real. Like, our parents would not be allowing us to be making that choice.
No, exactly. She didn't. And it took. You had to test into this school. Like
the friends who were in art were the ones that were allowed to choose.
Exactly.
Everyone in science was there because they were told to.
Yeah. We were forced.
Which is honestly, I loved my science programs in school.
I mean, it was cool, but it not my top choice. Still, it's funny because I kind of went into an artsy career.
Yeah.
And it's maybe you should have given me that head start, but whatever. She challenged me with science. So I'm in science.
Taught you discipline.
It did. Meanwhile, my boyfriend wanted to be in science, so he was there out of want, but he was a mathy type of boy.
And I also believe that there's there was a gender ego associated to each. In my school, the literature and arts section was all women or gay men or the broken souls or the people who couldn't get into all the others.
Very true. Very true.
But then science was all the boys, and then the girls like me who were
nerds.
We have boys that are friends and we're nerdy.
Right. 100%. Well, that was the identity that you kind of had to assume if you were forced into that academy.
And then the global studies was always the kind of effortlessly hot girls.
Exactly. It was some kind of middle ground between arts and science. Yeah. That's so true. That was
my
that's
sister.
On brand. She was a global girl?
Yeah, she was oh, I'm just, the best.
Just cool.
Yeah, she was just cool.
All around cool.
I don't even get, we're not a cool family.
Right.
How did she become cool?
I was nerd cool, but it took a lot of work.
I was the funny,
Exactly. I think that goes into nerd cool.
Yeah, it was nerd cool.
It's coping by being the jester.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I don't know, Sarah P? Was this global studies girly? Okay, so you met in the science thing.
We did, but we were in different classes. I was in the band class, and he was not.
Just so you were double nerd.
Double nerd. Always.
We
my
love
whole
it.
life. So we met. I think the most we did was hug, potentially hold hands. And we went to a dance together. I remember that.
Wow.
And that's it. And
did you go on dates?
No, this was
no,
before cell phones, really.
But I didn't some people had very advanced relationships when we were young.
No, I wasn't allowed to have a boyfriend either.
Yeah, so it was a school boyfriend.
My school boyfriend, and we didn't there was really no texting at this time. There was no texting, actually.
I mean, yeah, there was AIM.
We had AIM. So and we had phone calls. I remember I used to talk to my friends on the phone. I think I probably talked to him on the phone a few times, but and he went to my 6th grade birthday party.
Wow, it was a boy-girl party?
It was a boy-girl party, and it was basically one of the only years of my life I've had a birthday party. It was a bowling party.
Bowling?
Bowling.
That's so fun.
So my mom was there.
In Brooklyn?
Yes. It was supervised. My mom was there, and she met him, and she's like, oh, he's cute. And because my mom knew that he was my little
baby
school boyfriend, not a real thing. But anyway, he's my boyfriend now. But
and now all they do is hold hands and hug too.
Yes.
And they only talk to each other once in a while.
Exactly. We don't text.
And your mom supervises everything.
Exactly. No, but we completely lost communication for 20 years.
Because no texting.
Well, but because no texting.
So you didn't have each other's numbers when numbers became available.
Exactly. Or social media or anything. So like we had just completely lost touch because he left the state and didn't tell me or break up with me. So we were still together.
So it's actually, you only had one boyfriend,
exactly. Technically, I cheated on him with multiple all my other relationships. Yeah. And vice versa. But anyway, I would say like the next relationship, my first real relationship where we kissed each other and like it was like publicly known and we would like be in public and go on dates and stuff was in high school. I was 15 years old. And at this time, we were both in the theater program. Doesn't get more dramatic than this.
Oh, you were really just so cool in school.
I'm the biggest nerd on the planet.
Science, band, theater.
Literally. Like, what was my mom doing to me?
Making sure you had...
preserved my virginity.
That's what I was going to say. And also, like, if you live trauma young enough, you're like better as an adult, you know?
That's what I like to believe. That's what I like to believe.
That way you went to college already knowing where you stood in life.
Right? So I dated this kid for, I remember specifically, 1 year and 3 months. So it was a long relationship.
That's a full school year and then some.
And then some. We were like known as a couple.
Wow.
Teachers knew, like everybody knew. And
Did he know?
He knew.
Okay.
He was big into it. Did that stop him from cheating? Absolutely not. But does it ever? Does it ever stop? So he and I were like notorious for being together. Even like people, like he was big crushed on. People had crushes on me too, but it was like, we were like an it couple for the nerds.
Yeah.
You know, for the band kids.
It's also, everyone always has a crush on you when you're not available because you give off like more confidence.
Classic.
Yeah.
So when it comes to casting, there's always like some drama. So
for
like,
what, the school play?
School plays. Got it. School musical.
Is there more than one a year?
So there's a play in the fall, musical in the spring.
Okay.
And he was one of the only boys in the program that was very talented. So because of that, he always got lead roles.
Got it.
Girls had a lot of competition with each other. So there were times I was looking back on something and I was laughing because it's like when he was my ex, we were still in theater and he got cast as my mother once. And then there's other times where I was cast as like a mother, you know, but somebody like his wife's mother, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just so nuts to think about how like Dr. Evil, drama directors get.
Yeah.
When it comes to like, oh, I know these kids were together, so I'm going to torture them a little bit more.
If I were a teacher at like a high school or middle school, I would totally fuck with that.
Torture them. Just torture
them.
Like,
it was so crazy.
I remember the days where like he made them actually kiss for scenes and like made sure I was there. Like, and I'm just like, why are you trying to cause a rift in my relationship, my high school relationship right now? Anyway. It's so funny because this was such a fun, good relationship until it wasn't. And at the very end, when it wasn't, we had broken up, I think it was like over a summer. And then during the summer, when he came back to school, he had started dating a new person, a fellow drama club girly.
I mean, obviously, think about it. His pool is like massive.
Yep.
That's like the same when it was at Barnard. Like any Columbia guy has like this pool of women.
Especially straight guys in theater.
Exactly.
There's so few and far between. There's like 2 of them.
Which, finish your story and then remind me that we need to talk about the Matt Rife effect.
Okay. Oh, we got a lot to say about that. So he started dating this girl and it's funny because this is probably TMI, but like back then, I was like, okay, maybe they'll be together forever or something.
Yeah.
Turns out I wasn't his good luck Chuck, but he did stay with this girl for a while. And it was funny because the rumors that went around is like, well, this is a real relationship because we went all the way.
It's always that.
And
it's always like the couples who actually have sex in high school were like the serious couples.
Yeah.
And
I was like, fine. And now the irony is it's decades later. and this person is not the ex-boyfriend, but the next girlfriend of my ex-boyfriend is in my life in a familial capacity because my in-laws are like close family friends of that family.
That's incredible.
So I still have to sometimes like see her relatives and stuff.
But
and
she's
I'm
not
like,
with him anymore.
No, but it's still like a wound.
Yeah, you're still like, I absolutely hated you.
I was like, and it, like, there's no reason for us to really be friends now.
Yeah.
But it's just so funny to think about, like, how like neither of us are connected to this person, but the two of us are connected now. Isn't that insane?
What is he up to now?
God only knows. Not my problem.
Not social media.
I don't know, but I'm not connected on social. Yeah.
That's
very formative breakup.
But in the end, you're still with your OG boyfriend, so
that's right. They always come back.
I mean, they say, what's like the saying that like you meet your soulmate, like,
isn't that crazy?
Yeah, it's like you've already met them.
Yeah,
or something.
Yeah. They say that like by like in your 20s.
Yeah,
you've already met your soulmate.
And I'm like, yeah, I absolutely love some of my friends, but I don't know if I truly believe in the one person kind of person.
I don't know if I believe in soulmate.
Yeah,
I don't think I do.
And we've talked about this before.
Relationships are work.
I think there's like infatuation and there's like certain things, but like you can't know if this person's your person. Like there's so many factors in life.
Right?
But okay, so speaking of the Matt Rife effect.
Okay.
There is this thing that's happening where it's like, and it's the same with when we were in school and the same with anything that has to do with straight guys being like a minority.
Right.
And it's like,
especially in the arts field.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, there were no like hot stand-up comedians, and he's like, you know,
especially ones that can put themselves together in an outfit.
Yeah, like he's like comedians Abercrombie hot,
dress.
You know, like he just looks like, I was explaining to Ava like who he was, and I was like, imagine asking AI to show you a photo of attractive white American male.
Yeah.
And it would be him. Like,
have you heard the joke about how he looks like the guy from Big Mouth?
No, but that's fucking hilarious.
He looks just like him.
But I think these men who have been like elevated and put on a pedestal because like they're like one of the only like a hot straight person.
Yep.
They're
hot for the room.
But also like they're all douchebags.
Oh yeah.
Like, and it's just a matter of discovering it. But I've never met somebody in those situations that's actually a good person because they've never been held accountable a single day in their life.
No, they get away with murder.
And beware. Like, whenever you meet somebody that's like too attractive.
The hottest guy in the room.
The worst person in the room.
Yeah, exactly.
You need the like mid.
Yeah. Tell me about your first breakup.
Okay, so I had a boyfriend when I was like in 5th and 6th grade, but like nothing crazy. Not like you. We don't talk today.
You never know. Yeah. I didn't talk to him until last year.
I could hit him up, but I'm pretty sure he's like in a very serious relationship. We're like friends to this day.
You guys might meet on Hinge one day.
Maybe.
It happens.
Yeah, I mean, he's like not bad looking. But then my first like real relationship was my freshman year of college, and that was incredibly tumultuous and very unhealthy, but I did not know what healthy was, as young women are. You
have to have one.
Yeah.
One that teaches you what you won't accept.
Yeah. And I'm like, wow, these are really new situations for 18-year-old Natasha.
Also kind of happy that you dealt with that. Hate that you had to deal with it in general. But happy you dealt with it then.
Yeah, very
rather
early.
Than like in your 20s where you feel like you're wasting chunks of your like good years.
I mean, I did feel like he robbed me in my freshman year. Because he was older. And so I was like, ugh, I missed out on all these experiences. But I also don't feel that way anymore. Like that was my angst at the time.
Yeah.
But he did this really fun thing where he was really good friends with these 2 girls. And he loved hanging out with them at night and like do drugs with them without me. And yeah, I think he like loved that a lot. And then he ended up breaking up with me. And then he was like cheating on me basically the whole time with them.
With both of them?
Yeah.
Did they know?
Yeah.
About each other?
Yeah. It was like you know.
It was like a throuple.
I don't even know if it was a throuple. I think there were some threesomes once in a while. But then with one of them, he like was very serious with. And then they dated for like until he graduated before me. But like until I think they like lived together somewhere in New York for a while.
Wow.
But I was like, you're honestly such a piece of shit. And then this was so funny. I went to a show in Brooklyn. And like maybe like a year after we broke up or some shit.
Mm-hmm.
And he saw me outside, like we were both smoking a cigarette, and he literally like ran away.
Good.
And I was like, you literally can't even stand on this corner. Like, I am not here to see you.
Right. Well, you know what? To that I say, you better run faster.
Yeah, like
run faster. I can't stand you. I don't want to be around you and breathing the same air as you.
And it's like the type of gaslighting that was like, you're never here for me. Like, I can't do this anymore because it feels so one-sided, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah,
and
I love
like,
when they turn it around on you,
right?
And they're cheating.
And I'm like, wow, but this whole time, you're just telling me that I am not, like, I'm insecure about you hanging out with these girls. But, like, you're literally hooking up with them.
Right.
And then the worst part is, like, his group of guy friends, like, because he was in a frat. And so, like, they all knew. And I'm like, you guys all fucking knew.
You and they don't say anything to you either.
And then they told me, like, once we broke up and stuff, they're like, we felt so bad. And I'm like, I know, like, fuck this. Like, you literally saw me get so mistreated. Yep. Like, this is bullshit. Like, and I feel like after that, it really made me into, like, more of a girl's girl.
Yep.
I was like, this is why you need good women relationships and friendships, because I would never let this shit fly for any of my friends.
What about the girls that he was cheating on you with? Like,
the worst. And then they would like talk shit about me to people and whatever.
Like, they're not girls.
And they were obviously like the cool girls at our college, like
right.
super hipster, like artsy, like very talented writers and like, you know, creative people. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not. Okay. I'm like some jappy girl from New York. Like,
what a loser.
What do you want from me?
Not you, though.
I didn't ask for this.
That sucks, dude.
So yeah,
and like, yeah, you didn't ask for this, and he's also your boyfriend. Like, they should be apologizing.
I was like, I don't understand why this is like, I honestly didn't understand why this was happening to me.
That's so sad.
And so then we broke up, and that was like really intense. So we broke up twice, like, and then we got back together, and then we broke up a second time, and then we've never spoken since. Mm-hmm. But then I would run into him on campus all the time.
That's the worst.
That's the worst.
Wow, because there's like a couple places on campus that you have to go through.
Well, like where he lived was like 3 houses down from where like another guy was seeing like a few years. Like he was 1 year older than me in college. Mm-hmm. So like in my 3rd year, mm-hmm. and he was a senior, I was dating some other guy and they lived next door to each other. And it was like still weird by then.
Right.
I'm like, why?
It'll always be weird.
I'm saying hi. You could just like literally, why are you making this weird? Like, you could just apologize.
Mm-hmm. Gross.
So it was really terrible, but I feel like that kind of just like gets you ready for
again
what's about to come
and what you won't accept. Like,
yeah,
you're just like, okay, I know how this situation goes. So if I find myself in a situation like this again,
exactly,
I know exactly I'm cutting it off at the root. Like,
and I'm definitely on the more extreme side where it's like if I'll see certain like patterns in like what is being said or stuff like that, I'm immediately like, I'm not even going on a date with you. Like, I already know where this is going.
I don't think that's extreme, though. I actually think you're saving yourself time and heartbreak. I really do, because there are so many people out there that it's like, you just simply don't have to accept the treatment you don't want.
Yeah.
Like, and I've learned that. Like, I was in a relationship in my 20s that took up like 2 or 3 years of my life. And I'm just like, I regret it so hard because I wasted my time. I wasted my money. And like, I just wish I could have those years back.
Yeah.
But I do think your first relationship living with a boy, like your first housing situation where it's just you and the other person, is toxic most times.
I mean, it's hard. It's like such an adjustment.
Such an adjustment for both parties. And like, no matter how ready you feel like you are, you have to realize that like there's so much sacrifice that comes with it. Even if you guys are like still in a honeymoon phase, like it's going to be super hard and you're going to see so many sides of each other that you didn't know existed.
I think specifically also for New York.
A specifically smaller space.
Yeah, like I think if you're living in the Midwest and you have a big ass house and everybody can have like, you know, you have your shared bedroom, but you have multiple bathrooms.
Yep.
And you can have like different workspaces and like a garage or some
and just
shit,
an escape of some kind.
And
like,
cars, like I think it's different. Like it's probably a lot less tension. But in New York, it's like it's so on top of each other. It's so intense. First of all, it's so expensive. So you're like, if this doesn't work out, like I now need to find a new place to live.
And you have to like spend a lot of time saving to get out of those relationships too, or like break a lease, and that costs money, and compromise. And like sometimes you don't have the cooperation of the other party either.
Yeah, it's a lot.
It's tough.
New York dating is intense.
It really is.
And yeah, this got really emo, but it made us stronger for it.
Yeah, 100%.
I'm like,
I think you literally have to go through that.
Like, I'm not saying I'm like still hung up on this shit. I'm just like, it was definitely a very intense time of our youthhood.
Absolutely.
And our girlhood.
Yep. So have you been someone's good luck Chuck though? Like, have you ever?
Well, I feel like I was to them a little bit, because then they were together for like a long time.
No, I mean final person. Like
final person, I don't think so. I don't know anybody that's like with their final person.
You don't know anyone that's gotten married after you dated?
I don't think so.
I think it becomes more prevalent probably in your 30s.
Yeah, I'm like, most of them have just gone on to like date other people and like.
Yeah, I think my ex-boyfriend from high school, I think he got married.
The theater guy?
Yeah, and I think he was a stepdad to 2 kids.
Wow.
But I also think they broke up.
Yeah, like I know that I've felt in the way.
Yep.
For certain people. And
yeah, for sure.
I mean, okay, this is like, I don't even know if I should be saying this, but we'll keep it extra vague.
We're getting vulnerable today.
Well, it's mostly for the privacy of the person, but there was somebody I dated during college and we broke up. He was like so wonderful, but like in a way that's like too wonderful.
Like almost ick.
Yeah, like I did not love myself as much as he loved me. And that was like, it was like irreconcilable for me. Like it just always made me feel insecure.
Okay.
And so we broke up and he started dating his bandmate like soon after, because so he was like really depressed and sad, and so he like got really into his music and made an album, and in that process like fell in love with his bandmate, and they're still together to this day.
So maybe that is your good luck Chuck story. Yeah.
And they're so cute, pretty. And it was cool.
Yeah, that's like a nice story.
And it wasn't like
especially because you couldn't love him the way he needed to be loved.
Yeah, and I wasn't like doubting this other person during our relationship. Like,
right, and it wasn't malicious. It's like you guys had a clearly defined breakup, and
like I only wanted
move on
him
after that.
Yeah, like I wanted him to find somebody who like enjoys being loved that way.
Right.
Wow. So that was pretty crazy.
Yeah, that is. So I guess that is your good luck.
Yeah, that
Chuck.
is cute.
So, okay, more practical living in New York.
Yeah.
I'm going to start to look for a car.
Wow, okay. Big moves.
Right.
Because in case you missed in the last episode, Sarah got her driver's license.
That's right, baby girls. But I started to think about like what people are whining about in my local community. And a lot of the times they're whining about Citi Bikes. Not because they have a problem with the bikes themselves, but because they have a problem with the bikes taking up parking spots.
I agree. Yeah, and they're just like left everywhere. Yeah.
I do think there are some practical solutions to that. Move them onto the sidewalk, in like thicker sidewalks, not in super narrow sidewalks that would limit a person or a wheelchair or something from passing. But it's also safer to even get on the bike. Like it's hard to like navigate being in the middle of the street doing it. So, and then like also places like there's like a pier in Bay Ridge.
Near the river is always a good idea.
Put them on the river. Like don't put them in the street that you have to walk all the way to go get it. Put the docking sites next to the water. So, and same goes for parks and stuff like that.
Agreed.
There are ways and places to put it. So another thing I've been thinking about is like people are always complaining about Citi Bikes taking up parking spots. But why are we never talking about how you can't park in front of churches?
You can't?
No. And why? Do people just is it the advertising factor of it all?
Wait, are you sure?
Yes.
It's not just on Sunday?
No, it's always.
In LA where I lived, the church you could park in front, but not on Sundays. Here, no.
Pretty sure you can't.
That's crazy.
Yeah, never.
Maybe it has to do with like a hearse, you know?
I never really thought about that.
It's like they need a car to be able to like unload and load or like.
Yeah. But then again, I feel like you also, cars that are servicing funerals get funeral parking. So like they have a tag
Yeah,
that,
but they
like,
need the space open to pull in.
Probably true.
You know?
I never really thought about that. But I'm also like more likely it has to do with advertising space.
Maybe.
Like, why?
That's crazy. We need to look into that.
Right?
I don't know much about the zoning codes for churches, but I'm fascinated.
Right? Bring that up in your policy classes. I have another question too.
Yeah.
Have you ever noticed that in buildings,
yeah,
the cafeteria is always in the basement?
Or like first floor.
Yeah, like main floor or basement.
Yeah, never on the upper floors.
Never higher up. Why?
Because those are the common spaces.
But why? Any space could be a common space if you dedicate it.
Well, not if you like, I guess, yeah, but then like I think people want like the privacy of a full floor.
Any floor could be a private floor.
But you don't want people coming for the cafeteria into your floor.
What do you mean?
Like in an office building?
Offices, churches, hospitals, schools. Why doesn't the cafeteria go on the 4th floor?
Schools, I don't understand. At my elementary school, the cafeteria was on the 5th floor.
What?
Yeah.
Wild. I've never heard of that.
And then they renovated the building and we like moved.
Uh-huh.
And it was then on the 1st floor. I think it probably has to do with like kitchen setups, maybe.
Well, think
flood
about
risks.
This. Heat rises.
Yeah.
So if there's a fire or something, it's going all the way up, baby. If you're on the top floor and there's a kitchen, there's going to be less damage to the bottom floors, no?
I really have no idea. I think it's for accessibility and in optimizing like money. They're like, if it's right when you enter,
right, you're more likely to make a purchase.
Money. Yeah.
Or you have to pass it on your way out.
Yeah.
But that doesn't explain schools.
And it doesn't explain basements.
Right.
Basements is probably because less used area.
Right.
Less windows, stuff like that.
Huh. Something to think about.
Yeah. Schools, it's maybe because like first graders can't like go up to like, I don't know.
And just like so rats get first dibs on everything.
Oh, no idea. But that's very weird, and we need to look into the zoning laws.
Right? Okay. I got a final question for you.
All right.
I just forgot my question, so I'm going to take reference. All right. Weddings. We're looping back around to weddings.
Got it.
What is a must-have food and dessert that you expect at weddings?
Expect or want?
Both.
I want to see some sort of pizza bagel or pig in a blanket.
So bizarre.
Like
so unlikely. And so white trash.
I feel like it's very Jewish.
I'm like, is this a backyard wedding?
Like in the little like buffet dishes.
Pizza bagel.
That's more of like bat mitzvah. Yeah, I haven't gone to like a million weddings, so
okay.
I'm trying to like put in a more adult. But like bat mitzvah, that was like the go-to.
I guess that's like a kiddie food, like an easy grab.
Wedding. I don't know. I feel like I've not truly enjoyed that many wedding foods.
I went to a really good wedding.
Yeah.
A year and a half ago.
Not the crumble cookies.
That was a sweet 16, and those were terrible.
But I do expect to see some sort of like cupcake.
Cupcakes, I think, belong at weddings.
Yeah.
I do. And I think they're also more convenient than a wedding cake.
No, you need the wedding cake for show.
For aesthetics.
But you want the cupcake. Yeah.
Served cupcakes. I guess that's kind of cute.
Yeah.
I went to a wedding that, I'm not going to lie, had absolutely the best food I've ever had in my life.
Did they have pizza bagels?
No, they didn't.
Then it was the worst.
No, it was the best because of that.
What did they have?
They had baked Alaska.
Yeah, baked Alaska. Little desserts.
Multiple baked Alaskas.
Yeah.
Like, which is crazy to me. Fondue.
What?
Fondue.
No. Fondue, unacceptable. That is so unhygienic.
I mean, like, it wasn't like unhygienic. Like, they have skewered
I know, but
foods.
I feel like people never know how to correctly do it, and it becomes a mess.
I feel like it was clean.
Okay.
Every Italian cook you could ever imagine.
That I'm down with.
At night, this is during the dessert section. They had breakfast for dinner, where they're flipping pancakes.
That's cool.
Making bacon and eggs for you in real time. A crepe making station.
Love that.
They had...
But what salty food did they have other than bacon and eggs?
I'm trying to think because this was the dessert section. But during like cocktail hour...
Yeah, what did they have?
They had a raw bar.
That's cool.
So they had oysters. They had clams.
Yeah.
I mean, this was pre-Oyster Gate.
Yeah.
You know? Good times. We'll miss them.
Miss them.
I hope that the climate gets better just for oysters. So I can eat raw oysters again.
I miss it.
But yeah, I mostly ate oysters during that part, so I can't remember exactly. But it was like nice because they were on like such cold ice and they were just perfect. And I also brought my own bottle of like infused oil so I could like tincture drop it on the oysters at the time. Oh, I was baked, and I was a baked Alaska myself.
But no pizza bagels, so it sucked.
No, it was really good because of the no pizza bagels. I insist that having a less finger food, child-free wedding is better. I think this is where we differ. Really? Okay. There were fries. I mean, okay, that I do love. They had really good salads, but really the dessert station is what took it away. Okay. Like it was like an entire room of desserts, like huge U-shaped room. I'm down with that. It was so cool. It was really cool. They had a cotton candy area where they would make you cotton candy on site. Oh, I love that. It was really cool. Like, and I feel like that's like such a fun wedding activation to like straight up go like sugar candy crazy. That's pretty cool. Like, let's get weird right before some fireworks for the wedding and then say goodnight. I did go to a wedding for work. Like I was like covering for press and they had like a shucker there. For clams and oysters? Yeah. Ooh. And he would like, there was like a main bar area, but then there were like these guys walking around with like aprons and shit and they would be like, want an oyster? And they'd like shuck for you. Would they give it to you in the shell or they would just leave it loose on your plate? In the shell. Love. Yeah. Love that. Like they're just cracking it open for you. And now I would eat 48 oysters. Yeah, exactly. But on that note, let us know what your favorite wedding foods are. And if you've gone to more weddings than me, you probably have a better idea. Yes. I clearly have only gone to bat mitzvahs. And yeah, we will see you next Tuesday. Every Tuesday. And follow us at Not For Nothing Pod across all platforms. Follow me at How Can I Help You? And follow me at Natasha PRZ. We'll see you soon. Bye. Bye.